Welcome to the Between the Lines talk show, where it's actually a podcast, but also not a podcast. I don't know. I'm trying to do Jake's thing that he does, but it's just not going to work. With me again, I have my good friend Jake. Jake, go ahead and say hi, hello.
And welcome to the Between the Lines talk show. I'm not your host, Jake, and with me, as always, is the actual host, Xander. Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. I was like trying to see like a good one. How have you been, Jake? What have you been up to?
I've been all right. I've been big chillin', living life, preparing to. It's funny. I just got back from Florida. Oops, something fell. I got back from Florida recently for like a trip with my wife and I and our friends and stuff. But then, unrelated, I'll be going back to Florida in a couple weeks because I'm going to be at MegaCon Orlando, which by the time this uploads, this might or might not be out by then. It's going to be the first weekend of February.
I'm definitely going to try to upload this before the end of January, so yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. That means that anyone listening can still come say hi at MegaCon Orlando.
That's true. Hopefully they will come say hi. Big fan of big author Jake here.
Oh, yeah.
Work's been fine for me. That's been mostly what I'm doing. Where I won't talk too much about my job, but basically, tennis. It has to do with the Australian tennis tournament, and I've basically been working 3 a.m. to 3 p.m. or 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. every day for the past like week straight. And then I have another week where I do that, so it's fun.
You know what is so funny? My wife is a bartender. Those are her exact hours every weekend, Thursday through Sunday.
No way.
Yeah.
Damn. That sounds awful.
Yeah, exactly. It's a full-time job, but you're only there like 4 days out of the week because it's like 12-hour shifts. So like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's true. Well, let me ask you actually one little thing. How is that $70 Nosferatu tombstone been, man?
Well, we're not doing video or else I would go grab it, literally. But yeah, no, it is so good. You were dead right. All the details on the side are like, they're like slightly embossed. They're like coming out. And oh man, just the time and effort that was spent on a device meant to just dump butter and fucking popcorn into is just, the ratio is just off, man. How could they spend so much time? It's so good. It's such a great bucket.
I know, right? And all of that only for $25, which I paid for. I'll gloat about that.
Oh, shut up. Hey, you know what? After the bucket shut up in my house, I swear to God, like literally 2 days later, MegaCon Orlando announced Nick Holt is going. So now I have to bring that bucket to Orlando to get it signed by the star of Nosferatu. So it all worked out in the end.
You better have that thing like encased in like styrofoam and a cardboard box as you're carrying around, because I tell you, I guarantee you, if you're just holding that thing like on its own, you're gonna drop it or dent it, and then you're just gonna feel awful about yourself.
Well, no, after I get it signed, I'm going to come home and dunk it in butter and then wipe my ass with it. Yeah, of course I'm going to preserve it. It's going to be amazing. But that display case, there's a separate section, because I usually do 2 buckets per column. There is a wide section just for that one fucking bucket, because it's like, it's a tombstone. It's so long. It's like perfectly displayed there.
It's funny too, because when you did your like quick review of Wolfman, I was like, I saw the display cabinet and I was like, for $70 he should have lights and stuff where you just see it all the time for his background. But all right.
I have lights on the cases.
I don't know why you don't turn them on, man. Like, seriously.
I mean, I guess I should. I guess I probably should, but I'm lazy.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, honestly, it's funny with the bucket too. I have no place to put it, so I've literally just like ceremoniously been bringing it back and forth between my TV stand and my desk, because because it's too high where I sit, where it'll like cut off the bottom of my TV, so I can't leave it there. So I have to move it over to my desk, but I have a ton of shit on my desk, and I just don't want it to get damaged, so I move it back and forth all the time.
Of course, yeah.
I don't know if anyone else, if you've seen any of that. One last thing about the bucket and then we'll move on. I don't know if you've seen it where like they have like a plush rat, and I don't know, no one was selling the plush rat, but but I tell you, I swear, it's just a plush rat that I'm pretty sure you can buy off Amazon for like $8, but it looks like the exact same. I don't know.
A plush rat? No, that's not ringing any bells here.
Yeah, I don't know if they just like if that's just like in promotional shots they just show it around, but it's a cute little rat. I don't know. I'm thinking about picking one up at Amazon just for fun. The only Nosferatu thing I want to
Mm.
get is that there's like a nice canvas blanket that has the shot of like when the carriage is going down with the mountain. I would like to. I want to. I'm thinking about picking that up. It's like $60 though. So.
Yep, understandable. Well, I mean, what day are you coming down to MegaCon to get your bucket signed to by Nick Holt? Is that Thursday,
uh,
Friday?
that's no day, man. I'm not. I
Oh,
can't do it. I can't swing it, man. I'm gonna
oh,
be moving out soon. I
damn.
got. I'm producing and funding a movie, man. I can't be doing stuff like that.
Wha- what's one con trip between friends? I mean,
One day, Jake, we'll go on a con trip or something. It'll be good. It'll be good.
well, actually, it's funny. I think we mentioned this on the show before, but you, me, and Kierman Head do need to get together when Epic Universe opens up. That needs to happen.
Yes. Oh
100%.
my gosh. Yes. 100%. We will. I am down for that because that's gonna be amazing. I almost am
Gang.
wondering if when we do that, if we want to do it opening time or if we want to wait. Because if we do it opening time, there's two caveats. Caveat one, any problems that arise with the ride or anything, we're going to have to experience. Caveat two, it's a brand new park, so that place is going to be packed to the max.
That's true. Maybe we'll go like a month later.
I'm almost thinking like maybe we just wait a little bit so that all the kinks get shot out.
Yeah, it's a good point. Well, we'll figure it out. It'll happen though, because like I don't want to wait too long.
No, that's true. That's true. It'll happen. I'm 100% down for that. We gotta do that.
The military's top-secret weapon, Project Shadow, was stolen from the military base located on the deserted island in the southern seas. This incident increased worldwide terrorist activities. Sonic the Hedgehog was arrested. The adventure for truth leads to the incidents that shocked the entire world. The story takes our hero Sonic from the Earth and into outer space. Sonic Adventure 2, Hero Side Story. Farewell, Sonic. Forever.
Games and stuff we've been up to. Me personally, what game have I been playing? I was playing Shadow Generation still for a while, but then recently I started picking back up Sonic Adventure 2, and then actually yesterday I downloaded Halo Master Chief Collection. I was playing that on my Steam Deck, which I'm not a big first person guy, but because like you can do the gyro mapping and everything for the mouse, I've actually finally been able to fucking aim and figure it out. So now I'm kind of getting the hype for Halo. I'm like about 20 years too late on that, but whatever. Other than that, trying to get into Stardew Valley, and then Slay the Princess is another one my best friend's been trying to get me to play. So she was like, I'm getting you this for Christmas and you're playing it. I'm like, okay, cool. That game has been very interesting. I won't talk about it at all because you really do have to go into it completely blind. What about you, Jake? Been up to any fun stuff or playing any video games or stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I try not to play games when I'm working on a project, but literally, as you know, a little over a week ago, I finished the draft of my next book. So now I finally have time again to actually spend on recreational things. And let me just tell you, man, Assassin's Creed Black Flag always finds its way back into my life. It is such a great fucking game. It's like 14, 15, I don't even know how many years old now, but it's so good. And yeah, I've been doing a lot of that. And as always, just a lot of online chess at Cake Jamera. Challenge me, I'll probably lose.
Damn, online chess. All right, cool. I haven't picked up chess in a long time. Wow, Black Flag. So basically, that's like your Sonic Adventure 2. You just like pick it up and play it every other time and stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's also like tangentially related to the genre of my next book. That's all I'll keep it at right now. But like, I
Oh,
had the
okay.
drive to play that game again after finishing the last chapter. I was like, I gotta get back in that, man. I gotta do it.
Well, speaking of projects we've been working on, for me, production on my next short film has been going steady. We earlier this month we shot another scene that went really really well. Finally got I won't talk too much. I like to be vague. Finally got costuming all set that I was so freaking worried about because I was like, fucking, if this doesn't work, it's just not going to work because we shot the final scene of the short film. And it's like, okay, well, if this costume doesn't work out, I mean, I'm kind of stuck with this, can't really go back. But everything came together and it was one of those trust the process things, and I was really happy with the final look.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be shooting again next week. I wanted to shoot more this month, but things just weren't working out with scheduling. I tell you, scheduling is the bane of my existence when it comes to short filmmaking, because everyone else has jobs and life and everything.
What's your schedule like for shooting?
It varies because we can't pay anyone, so I try to basically say, okay, I try to make it work with everyone's schedule. I try not to like force people to like take days off if they don't have to. But we typically during production we try to shoot once a week. Try to go for twice, but minimum once a week. So for this one, because of one of our actors is working on in a play, so he has to do rehearsal. So it's looking like we're doing mornings from like 11 a.m. to like 4 p.m. for a good couple months. And then we have a couple of night shoots that we're probably going to have to do like 11 p.m. to maybe midnight or in start time at the very least. So I pretty much don't. I pretty much just dedicate myself to my movie, so I take off whatever time I have just because I'm fortunate with my job, but everyone else we kind of have to go around. But for this one, it's looking like it's Monday, Tuesdays for shoot days these weeks.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if that answered your question.
No, it's the fact that you can dedicate 2 days out of your week every week to it is like really impressive. A lot of people can't do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can. I don't know if everyone else. So far, it is kind of seeming like it's gonna at least be one day, but we all try to make it work. I'm very fortunate that my casting crew all, I guess my passion and my like creativity really shine through because everyone says I really like what you're doing, Xander. I like the process. I really want to help make this vision come to life, and everyone's just been so kind with me, and I'm so grateful to my whole cast and crew. They really do their best to help make it work, which I couldn't do any of this without them. Like literally, my creativity and my stories have gone past the point where I can just do everything on my own.
Right.
Yeah.
Well.
What about you? Do you have any updates you want to share? Was that all you wanted to give or talk about with your own project?
I mean, well, as far as the book's concerned, I'll keep it under wraps for now. No pun intended with your project. But as far as the channel goes, I mean, yeah, we got a few things in the pipeline. We're going back to the best and worst pictures. We got Ordinary People coming out. That's pretty hyped. And of course, with the Universal Monsters, we got the next episode. If possible, you and I are going to be on it together. It's going to see how schedules work out, obviously. We're already halfway through the month, which kind of snuck up on all of us, but we'll see how it goes. We got to talk about Wolfman. We got to get that talked about on the next episode, so we'll figure that all out as the time goes on.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Werewolves?
No, I never got around to watching that movie, but it's on digital, and if we're going to talk, I got like a couple weeks to, pop it on.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for that conversation. It's going to be a good one. Great transition or segue into movies we've been seeing lately. I did watch Wolfman. Got to see it in IMAX, so I got that good sound quality. Gave it its due process.
God damn you. I had to see it in a freaking normal theater. I wanted IMAX for this so bad, man. So bad.
Wow, that is ironic. That is so ironic given everything.
I know.
Yeah, dude, I got so lucky because I was like, I have work at 3, and there was literally like a 12 p.m. showing, and I looked and we got out at 2 p.m. So I was like, oh, thank God it worked out. So I wanted to see an IMAX, so I'm glad I did. It was good. Sound quality was probably the best part, but it wasn't shot in IMAX, so it wasn't like you were missing out on the true like formatting wise.
Right.
We won't talk about too much. I want to save that for your podcast. But did you enjoy Wolfman, Jake? Was it everything you
I did.
wanted?
I did enjoy it quite a bit. I gave it an 8 out of 10. This is my thought process, like as a fellow Universal Monster fan. I mentioned this in the review. Like, how does it stack up against the other werewolf movies? I think that this is a better movie than 1941's Wolfman and 2010's Wolfman. But both of those other movies have better werewolf scenes than 2025's Wolfman. That is my official opinion.
I want you to know I feel personally attacked by that comment. But I won't take it personally.
I'm talking strictly like in terms of it being a movie. Like I genuinely like this movie that we got better than the movies that those are. But if you're asking what's the better like werewolf experience, then yeah, no, I have to tip the hat to the other ones.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, obviously everyone's opinion is valid. I can see the justification. I didn't completely hate it. It wasn't like the fucking worst piece of garbage. Not the worst. I mean, again, it's not a werewolf movie. But that's all I'll say right now because I know we're gonna get into it if I keep talking about it. All I can say is I did go into it wanting to love it, and I gave it its fairest shot. I mean, you can't get a fairer shot than seeing it opening day in IMAX. So,
I mean, that's all you can ask for,
yeah.
like just judging a movie on its own merits like that. So you did the right thing.
Yeah. Other than that, movies that I have seen before that is I watched Sonic 3. We'll be talking about that pretty soon later. Seen that movie like 5 times. 4 times in Dolby, once in the 4DX, just because I thought it'd be fun to watch it inebriated. That was a wild ride. Yeah, and then Nosferatu I've seen 3 times. I was very fortunate. I got to experience it at the New Beverly in 35 millimeter. That was really cool. My first viewing was on December 24th in the Dolby, so that was really fun just to see it on Christmas Eve. And oh my god, the Dolby was so good. And then I saw it in a regular format, which was fun too. I want to see it again though. Really, really upset that it seemed to get like the most limited premium format release. Like this got IMAX and Dolby. It seemed like it only got a Dolby release literally Christmas Eve, and then IMAX for like 3 days, and then it was done. It was done, and now.
So
now
yeah, you're absolutely right. Let me just. If I could jump into the Nosferatu conversation really quick.
Yeah, jump in, go.
Yeah, I've only seen it once in theaters because I was dead set on seeing that in IMAX, and I did get the IMAX showing of that, and that experience of Nosferatu on the screen the size of like the fucking Empire State Building, that was an incredible, so immersive of a story. And you know, Robert Eggers, he does his movies. This isn't perfect Lighthouse 4x3, but it's basically filmed for the IMAX format with the ratio and stuff, and it's just so beautiful.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
And I was so blown away by that movie in IMAX that I just refused to see it again in normal formats. Because for me, the IMAX theater is like an hour drive, so I really can't easily access it. My closer movie theaters I can go to, but like I don't want to downgrade my Nosferatu. Not until it comes out on digital anyway. So I've only seen it once.
That's fair.
Oh, and then Sonic 3. I do not like the Sonic trilogy at all. I think they're bad movies. But Sonic 3 is easily the best of the 3. And it's worth the price of admission alone for the Sonic Shadow fight, even though it is literally 10 fucking seconds long. It's over so fast. And I'm like, why? This is the whole point of us putting the butts in seats in this theater, and you're not even doing it. But anyway, I really enjoyed that for what it was. I loved the limited time that they showed that on screen. That was fun.
You know what? I'll be satisfied with that, knowing that your opinions. I wish I could be on your watch along for when you do that for Sonic 3, if you ever do that, because I just so that I could have one defender on there for a true blue defender. But it's fine.
What's
whatever.
a quick flight to Massachusetts between friends? You know, it's a quick old plane ride over. It's not a big deal.
Well, I don't know. Maybe.
It's part of your shoot. You can justify it.
Yeah, that's true. I'll figure it out. Is your IMAX in an AMC or is it in a different kind of theater and stuff? I'm kind of curious.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes, it is, because I have AMC A-List, and the A-List is like the best movie subscription service because all the other subscription services, they upcharge for premium formats, and A-List is just like, nah, it's all free, bro. Just fuck it.
Yeah, dude, I know, right? It's kind of insane to me. I'm like, why would you want to do anything else?
Exactly.
I mean, I know everyone's like, oh, but it's only 3 movies a week. And I'm like, man, if you have time to see more than 3 movies in your week, I don't know what you're doing.
Only who the fuck's wanting to see like 8 movies? Like I got a job, bro. I got bills. What
I
are you
know.
talking
I'm
about?
like,
three is
how
plenty.
much of a free time do you have in your life that you can afford to do that, man? Calm down. Calm down.
I know. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what your IMAX one is because I know that like there's different ones. Like the IMAX that I have like nearby, it's like a 20-minute drive. It's a big screen, but it's not like the biggest. And then I'm fortunate to be an hour away from the Hollywood IMAX, which is probably one of the biggest IMAX screens. I don't know if yours is like one of the giant ones or not, but it sounds like it's one of the giant ones, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's in Boston. It's like an hour away from my like middle of the woods town here. But
wow, okay.
yeah, it's quite a trek. So we go out there. Usually me and my buddies who care enough about like movie formats to drive all the way up there. It's fun though. It's a great experience. And that specific AMC, it has like a sushi place like 3 doors down, so you can literally walk
that's
and
sick.
get. They charge like $4 a plate, and there's like infinite plates. So you're like, oh, it's so cheap, and then you just pay like $100 at the end of it. But yeah,
dude, isn't that always sushi? That's funny. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that I got to experience it. Nosferatu in Dolby. I got to experience it in my favorite Dolby. The one that we have in Ontario Mills. It's probably the best one because the screen is giant, and then the sound system is just amazing, and the seating is probably the best one. And the sounds were so good. I'm so glad I got to see it in Dolby. I wish I could have seen it in IMAX, but I don't think I'm happy that I got to see it in 34 because it was shot in 34, and the blacks are so much blacker on film. It's kind of insane. It was a treat to watch it in that format. We could talk Nosferatu all day, but I don't want to do that because we'll probably be talking about it a little bit later. Actually, I think that's it in terms of movies. Have you seen any other movies recently, Jake, that you want to talk about or anything?
Oh man, I mean, it's tough. There have been lots of excellent movies. Everything you said, I actually have seen. I mentioned a few of them there. As of very recent, I saw Wolfman. Obviously, we've already mentioned it, but I saw Den of Thieves Pantera because Den of Thieves 1 was a dealer's choice. There's a commentary on the channel for it. Ian picked it because it was the 50th episode, and 50 Cent is in it. So that's the only connection there. So we watched part 2. Actually, it's funny. Only my buddy and I watched part 2. None of the members of the channel have actually watched part 2 except for me. So maybe I'll bring it up and we'll do a commentary later on. But it was really good. I thought it was better than the first one.
I had no idea what the hell Den of Thieves was, so I saw it. I was like, okay. Didn't end up seeing it. I try to see just like every movie that comes out, but this month has just been way too stacked for me to be able to do that right now.
I have a New Year's goal of seeing a movie every week, is what I was gonna say.
Hell yes. I usually see at least one movie every week, so it's definitely good. It's kind of hard to get into the rhythm, but once you kind of do, it gets easier. Recently saw Baby Girl with Nicole Kidman. That was great. Heartbreak feels good in a place like that.
Woo!
Don't ever see that with parents. Thank God I didn't, because wow, that was a spicy film. And then other than that, I'll probably try to see A Complete Unknown. My friend Michael, he really wants me to see that movie. So all right,
I just saw it. It is so good. Timothy Chalamet is amazing. I hope he gets a nomination for an Oscar.
I'm not a big biopic person. I'm not like a big musician guy. So like for someone like me, do you think I'll enjoy it much?
Yeah, so I'm exactly the same as you. I don't really care about like musician biopics at all, but I just thought his performance was so good. And do you play an instrument at all?
I don't.
Okay. I play guitar recreationally. I'm not like a guitarist, but I know how to dabble. And everything Timothy Chalamet was doing when he was singing those songs was accurate. So like he actually played like the right chord, and it sounded exactly the same as the chord. He's doing like hammer-ons and pull-offs on the guitar, and I'm like, oh my god, he's probably playing it on set. They probably put a microphone on the set, which they never do. They always dub it over, and they're actually recording him like that. I was blown away. And if they did do it like dubbing or recording, it's maybe the best ever in terms of matching up with what's on screen. So
that's cool.
Excellent stuff.
All right, that's cool. All right. That's good. I'll probably I'm gonna try to go see it. Final thing, and then we'll move on to the main event of today's talk show. Mufasa. A movie that I hate. Glad that it's failing. Disney is being really messed up though, because they said that it was number one movie in the world and that it was beating Sonic 3. And the only reason why they were able to get away with that is technicality. It released worldwide when Sonic 3 only released in America and it hadn't released worldwide yet. Yeah, so they just keep lying about it and they keep trying to pretend like it's number one when it really isn't. And I just kind of find it hilarious.
Yeah, that's really funny.
I posted it on my Instagram of like Shadow doing like the peace sign to the tombstone for Mufasa. I'm just so glad Mufasa's failing.
You know what's so funny is every week I'll go to the AMC theater and my local one, and I'll look at new popcorn buckets and see if they have any new ones for upcoming. Because, you know, you kind of got to get them, like, the Thursday that movie opens. Otherwise, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Like me with Nosferatu, for example. So I'm looking at different buckets and stuff. And for the past, like, month, the only bucket they've had in stock is the Mufasa custom bucket. And it looks like, cool, but, like, I don't care at all about Mufasa. You know, I'm not going to get it signed. James Earl Jones is dead. Yeah, I don't care about this bucket. Like every single time, that's the only one they have. So, whatever.
Yeah, no, it's hilarious too. Because if you ever go see it I don't think I don't know if it's still doing it, but for every time I went to the Dolby, especially with Sonic 3, it was like they were doing a spotlight on Mufasa. So it was just like Disney telling me, "Come on, please see Mufasa 3. Come on, please see Mufasa." I'm like, no, I don't care. I just do not give a fuck.
Yeah, they marketed the fuck out of Mufasa because they thought it would be the next Lion King grosser, you know? And that movie made dumb money.
They really did.
Eggman steals the research from a military base located on an island to the south. The military's top-secret weapon, Shadow, sealed in the space colony Quark, the 7 Chaos Emerald. When all of the keys have been collected, world conquest will be at hand. Sonic Adventure 2, The Dark Side Story. Long live the Eggman Empire.
Real quick, though, how many movies do you see a month, like in theaters?
I'd say average is either 8 to 10 times a month. I go to the theater. Very fortunate. I live 20 minutes away from 2 AMCs.
Did you get Movie Pass when it came out initially?
Yes.
Well, it's just kind of funny because, like, I have my Movie Pass card over there. I should probably frame it. There's this one YouTuber I follow who has it framed, and he has it in the background of every video he ever does. And, like, to me, it's like, I am the guy that bankrupted Movie Pass. Because when I got that fucking card, I destroyed that fucking card system. I think I watched, like, 60, 70 movies, 70 times I went to the theater that year, the 2017, 18, whenever that was a big thing.
Damn.
And yeah, I destroyed that card. And then literally towards the end, like as MoviePass was like about to go bankrupt, AMC's like, here's A-list and you can get IMAX too. And I'm like, cancel, switch, all set, thank you, good to go. So I destroyed that company. I'm one of those guys.
No, dude, it's insane. I didn't get Movie Pass when it first came out because that was like still around the time where I'm trying to see every movie because I'm now a filmmaker. I want to like be able to like really get into it and like really expose myself to cinema.
Mm-hmm.
But we did get it towards the end of it, like right before it started just completely tanking with like where you could go see movies. And we had such a hard time canceling it that literally when A-List came out, we like signed up for it that same day, went to see Venom, and I haven't looked back since.
Yes, 100%.
I still have my Movie Pass card. It's fucking hilarious. A-List is so much better. It's such a refreshing breath because it was so much easier to use too.
Yeah.
And yeah, I get my money's worth out of A-List.
I wrote down all of my Movie Pass showings, like while I went to them. I had logged that down in a Google Doc, and I never touched it since. But now I finally opened it up again. The first movie I saw with Movie Pass was February 24th, 2018, Annihilation. And the last one I saw was Won't You Be My Neighbor in July of 2018. So I had it for 5 months.
Damn.
And I paid $115 for a lump sum for the year. And then that's when they went bankrupt, so I canceled it. I saved, and I did the math with how much each ticket had or would have cost. I saved $347.75 worth of movie tickets.
God damn.
I saved so much. Like, I was like, dude, there's no way. So I paid the lump sum. I could have kept using it, but then the system was starting to break. Showtimes were getting like grayed out because they didn't want you to go see movies. I was like, fuck this. So I just swapped over to AMC. But no, that was like the best time of my life right there. So the end of MoviePass was one of the era in which it was ending was when Mission Impossible 5 came out, and I went to go see it, and the app said no showtimes available today. So me and Ian did a video about it of like, oh, it's fucking tanking. We're not gonna have it much longer. But I had saved up, I had accrued so many points with Regal's card because I had always swiped the Regal card before using the MoviePass card. I had accrued so many, I just got a ticket for free. And that was back when seeing movies got you points to get you tickets. Now that's definitely not a fucking thing. AMC will never, you could see 1,000 movies this year. AMC will never give you a free ticket.
AMC also is like, if you buy any of the special popcorn buckets, you don't get points for those on their reward system.
I've heard conflicting things. I've heard you do, and I've heard you don't. I know that you can't spend points to get them.
I've never gotten points.
Never gotten points? Damn. I mean, I reserve enough tickets where I accrue points like a motherfucker, so it's all well and good.
Yeah, no, I accrue points too, because I'll get some of the food. I like them, so I'll eat them sometimes, and then I'll cash out for like big times and everything, so it's usually pretty good.
Yes, some people don't understand, like you and I who go to movies all the time at AMC, where it's like, oh yeah, I used all my rewards points last week. Let me open up the app, see what I got. I got like $25 more because I'm reserving so many fucking tickets. All right, I didn't even want popcorn.
Right? Yeah, I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, you buy one alcoholic drink and you get like a ton of shit. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let me just save all this up for the next big showing, and then
exactly.
Bada bing, bada boom. How many movies a month do you see usually?
So before recently, because I got married in August, and I kind of took time off of like climbing and movies and stuff like that for like a couple months. Now I've really gotten back into it. I see like at least 2 or 3 like new movies, then not including rewatches where I go back and watch them again. This year I want to do every single week. I want to do 4 movies a month at least, not including rewatches. That's my goal.
That's the way to do it.
Either way, I'm getting my money out of it because, like, you see 2 movies and it's already worth it.
You see one movie in Dolby, and then literally every single thing you see afterwards, you're paying for itself.
Mm-hmm.
I was including rewatches in that, but I do always like go and see new releases, typically day of, like literally that Thursday of. I'll see it of.
Yeah, that's my day that I have off of work, so I can do that. Yeah.
With that said, it is 2025. Every year, I make a top 10 movies of the year, and I invited Jake to join me on this. This is the first time I'll be doing a show or something of it. Usually I just make a quick post. And I figured we'd talk about our picks for the top 10 of the year and what we believe is the number 1 movie of 2024. That winner upon winners. I don't know what the Oscars will give it, but only Xander's opinion from Old Cool Studios counts. And Jake's.
Hell yeah. And I'll tell you what, I've been on my movie crunch grind for like the past month or so since like, you know, the Oscar bait movies have come out and stuff like that. And I've been pouring through them. I still want to see a few others, but I saw the big heavy hitters. I saw Nora. I saw Ghostlight. Those are, you know, movies I'm not going to say if they're on my list or not, but like they're in my recent memory. And I still got a few I want to see left, but I think I've seen all of the big contenders. I just saw A Real Pain today, but Jesse Eisenberg directed movie is pretty good. I've seen maybe like 70, 75 movies this year. I'm shooting for close to 100. I don't think I'm going to get that far in the next like month, but I'll try. I'm shooting for a good 100 movies just like last year, and we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, so I got a good list. I got a nice diverse list. I got a lot going on.
Nice. I don't know how many I saw in 2024. I know I saw a lot, but I cannot remember exactly how many I saw. So I know my letterbox will tell me. So maybe I'll look that up in the background. But I think first we'll start with some honorable mention.
Honorable mentions are a great idea. I have 3 selected. If you want to do more, I can add more, but that's what I feel like I've done.
This is probably the best year ever for movies. Just there were so many good ones this year, so it was so hard for me to pick things. But with that said, first honorable mention I'll go to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Fantastic film, really amazing CGI, great story. What a wonderful day will live in my head rent free for the rest of my life.
Yes. Yes.
just yeah, no, it was a great movie. So I don't know if that one's in your top 10 or honorable mentions. Jake, is it?
It is in the top 10, not the mentions. I fucking
Okay,
loved that
okay,
movie
cool.
so much. And we'll talk about it later on.
All right, yeah,
I
we'll get to
one
talk
of
about
my
that
three
later.
one of my I assume we're alternating choices here.
Yeah,
One of my
let's go back and
honorable
forth.
mention 3 here. And to be clear, audience, these 3 are in no particular order. I just have them written down randomly. But one of my
Yeah,
3 honorables that almost made it to the top 10 is Deadpool and Wolverine. This movie is really special to me. I thought it was just tremendous. It's my favorite Deadpool movie. It is my second favorite X-Men movie behind Future Past. I think that movie is like a masterpiece. But Deadpool and Wolverine comes real close to the top crown. It's just one of the best they've ever done. It's one of Hugh Jackman's best as the character, obviously behind Logan. It's just tremendous. It's a beautiful film. It sends off the Fox era movies that got kind of like completely shafted and forgotten. Like all the meta jokes about how they're completely forgotten, nobody cares about them anymore. Like Gambit never existed. Like I don't know. This was like a nice little like end to that era, and I think we can now move on. You know, it just feels good. It's a feel good movie. And of course the Madonna song at the end, like, come on, man. You know, like you can't beat that. So yeah.
That's true. I no, I can agree. That one's not in any of my lists and stuff. But it was a really good time. I gave it 5 stars. I don't. I think it was like really well done. I enjoyed my time with it. I definitely had a good time with that movie. I never really had like a close connection to the X-Men films or like the Fox stuff, but I agree. It was a good send off. I don't know if I'd call it. I feel like I don't know. I don't know if I'd call it like a great film or anything. It's certainly like a fine and really fun film, but there's some things where it's just like Ryan Reynolds. I don't think is giving as much of a performance as Hugh Jackman gives. Like at the very end when they're both like holding, like the timeline or something. I can't remember what it was, but you can kind of see like Hugh giving it all with like the acting of like how he's like kind of straining and pretending, and then like you look over to Ryan and the Deadpool thing, and he's just kind of standing there. And it just was kind of like,
I mean,
all right, Ryan, you're just kind of giving what you're like only expected. You're not going above and beyond like Q, and I don't know, it kind of like made me like kind of be like, okay.
I thought they were both tremendous, especially in that scene. Like I think he's like under the mask. It's hard to see him emote, you know, as much. Whereas Hugh Jackman's mask is barely a half mask. You can see kind of all the details of his face. So
Yeah,
that might be the
okay,
difference
that's
there.
fair. That's fair. No, that's fair. I'll give it that much. But yeah, no, action was great, freaking hilarious. I had a good time. All right,
Yeah.
next
What's
one
your next
is
honorable
one
mention?
that it hurts that I completely forgot about putting it in my top 10 because I really did love it. Quiet Place Day One. I thought this was a fantastic.
You mind if I jump in there? That was my next one.
Yeah. Oh, sweet, great. We both have an honorable mention.
Yeah.
on this.
So
Yeah,
I
go ahead
figure
and
if
jump
we
in.
share one, we'll just talk about it together. Yeah. That was a great movie.
Of course, yeah. I love that movie.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw it 3 times. Got to see it in the Dolby. Great in the Dolby with the sound system. I like all the Quiet Place films. I know everyone says Part 2 is really weak. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
Me too.
Day 1,
I love that
think,
movie.
Yeah, see, Part 2 is good. Day 1, really good. I really like the idea of just like someone having one last day and like really just like kind of trying to like knowing they're dying, like the whole story of like knowing that she's gonna die, but she's wanting to do it on her own terms and stuff like that. Felt like really resonating and just like really powerful. The one shot that really like sticks with me is like when like she finds out the pizzeria is dead and like she just falls to the ground in the street crying, and there's like that fire going from the gas station and everything. It's like, damn, dude, it just it hits.
It's very emotional.
Oh yeah,
It's so good. It's so powerful, so well written.
and I was still on the edge of my seat. Like, this is like the 3rd one in this series. You think you'd get used to these monsters, but no, man, the sound design, the way they shoot things and everything, I'm like I'm tense. I was afraid to breathe myself in the movie. In the theater.
Exactly. It's so well done. I love almost everything about the movie. All 3 Quiet Place movies just do not miss. Like, they're really well made, really well done. This easily could have been a franchise where the first one is like really fresh and creative and then they just run it into the ground. But they keep up with it. They do not miss. And this one is no exception. It was on my top 10 for most of the year. And then I just simply saw more movies, like at a certain point, you know, quantity.
Yeah, no, like I said, it's just so hard. Like, there's so many movies just deserve to be in top 10, deserve to be number one. Um, in another timeline, Day One would be my number one of the year, or at least in another one, it'd be in the top 10. It's just there's so many other movies that,
Yeah.
but yeah, amazing film. So I'm glad we both really enjoyed that one.
Well, what's your third one, since I kind of took that as well?
Long Legs. Really, really scary time, creepy time. It's what me and my friends like to call weird cinema, where it's just like the story was weird, the filmmaking's weird. It's kind of like, unless you're really deep into filmmaking and like watching movies and like cinema culture, you're just not gonna get it. I saw this with my mom because I knew she's a huge fan of Silence of the Lambs. It's one of her favorite films of all time, and she loves to watch movies like about demons and stuff. Even though she's even though she's very religious, and it was kind of scare her, but she'll like see every freaking movie about demon possessions and stuff. And so when we saw the trailer, like, she's like, yeah, I want to see this movie. It was right up her alley. First time she ever watched a weird cinema film, that like she literally next day went out and saw it again because she just really like it just struck a chord with her. I loved it. Nick Cage did an excellent job. I was very creeped out, unsettled by him. I think the ending is just kind of a little weak. I don't like how she just kind of stands there and watches things happen when she doesn't have to. It just kind of it didn't hit the mark that I wanted it to, but everything else was amazing. What about you, Jake? Was that in any parts for you? Or?
I missed Long Legs. I was just talking about how I've seen so many movies last year. It's like one of the only ones I didn't see because my wife and I were gonna watch it, but our friend who was in the room had already seen it, so we're like, oh, we'll pick a different one, and then we never went back to it. But my third honorable mention is one that's probably gonna be on your list. Nosferatu, dude. This movie's ridiculously good. It's Robert Eggers. He does not miss. He does not drop the ball. He's way too good. He's done 4 movies right now. I don't even know where I'd put the. You know, I'm gonna rank them real quick. That'll show my respect for Eggers. It's gonna be Lighthouse at number 1 because it's the goddamn Lighthouse. You can't beat the Lighthouse. The Lighthouse is a masterpiece. Number 2, maybe The Witch. Then Nosferatu, then Northman. And I love Northman. So the fact that it's at the bottom should tell you about the quality of all 4 of his movies. So, yeah, no, Nosferatu is no exception to how good those movies are.
You know, it's funny. I didn't get a chance to see Northman. I have the digital digital copy of it because my friend Garrett, like, he bought it. And he's like, "Do you want the digital code?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." I need to see it. Never have seen the Vivitch. I don't really have an interest in it, to be honest. But Mikey wants me to see it. But I loved Lighthouse. And yeah, Nosferatu is probably, in my opinion, his best one. I am shocked that this one's only in honorable mentions, but that's completely fair because it is hard to like when it comes to ranking and stuff. You always have to be careful of recency bias.
Fair enough. All right, well, let's get to the big creme de la creme here. So what's your number 10?
My number 10 for the year is going to be. I'm also going to add because I have Letterboxd, so I can add a few stats with things like that. It's going to be Late Night with the Devil. Now, for context, I went to see this movie twice. Usually for me, if I see a movie once and I give it a good ranking, then it means like I either really enjoyed it or like it just stuck with me. If I see it twice, it means like it's pretty good. I wanted to give it like another watch, like to watch it critically. If I see it 3 times, I really, really liked it. This movie I saw twice. I'm not a fan of demon possession movies. I'm not a fan of cult movies. I find them very like cheap, uninspired and stuff. This movie, though, it's the best demon possession movie ever. Best cult film. Frickin' loved it. I, as someone who, like, tries to make movies look like kind of old school and stuff, loved how this, like, felt straight like an 80s TV show. It really, I mean, I know that was the point, but, like, it really succeeded in feeling like an 80s TV show. I know the whole AI art was a whole controversial thing. Obviously, think it's bad, completely against it. But I also think, like, people saying, oh, this movie is completely awful because it did use AI art. It, like, completely destroys everything. I was like, it's bad, don't do it. But, all right, let's calm down. There's a lot more to it than just that. I think my only thing was just like when it cuts into the behind the scenes, it is kind of weird where it's like, okay, who's the cameraman? Like there's just kind of like invisible cameraman and everything. But other than that, great time, excellent. Did you see Late Night with the Devil?
I did. I loved it. I thought it was excellent.
Is it in your top 10?
Late Night? No. It would probably be in the top 20 if I expanded the list that far. I love that movie. It's great. David Dasmalchian. This guy, David D., our friend here, he is excellent in like everything he's in, and he's in every like franchise, like every single major studio franchise. This motherfucker has popped up in some supporting role to some extent. So he's so talented. He's got the best agent in all of Hollywood. And I hope he's in 100 more movies. I hope he's in every single franchise.
Gee, yeah, I'm looking at his freaking. Holy fuck. Okay, yeah, this guy's been in everything.
You gotta dedicate 10 minutes of your life to sit down on Wikipedia and go through his filmography. It's nutty. If he goes to Comic-Con, you can sign anything on your entire collection. He's part of it. Doesn't matter what it is.
All right, Jake, what's your number 10?
Well, I'll tell you. It is a movie that I did not anticipate being on my top 10 because I'm not big into Disney's animated stuff, but it's The Wild Robot. I thought this movie was excellent. To clarify my comment here, there is a stigma out there because people think that animated movies are for kids. The reason that is a stigma is because like over 90% of animated movies aim directly at small children and kind of nobody else. And that really frustrates me to the point where I've just stopped seeing them. But I heard this was just so good. I was like, all right, I guess I'll sit down and watch it on digital. And yeah, no, it's tremendous. It's beautiful. There's some stuff in there that like, the jokes kind of lean a little kid-centric sometimes. But the vast majority of the movie is actually like really powerful, really heartfelt. It has an excellent message. The animation is amazing. You could tell there's like a ton of really hardworking people worked behind this movie. And I really liked the ending. I thought it really satisfyingly wrapped itself up, and yeah, I'd definitely watch it again.
Yeah, no, it's not in my top 10 or anything. Got to see it in theaters. Really enjoyed it. I always try to go, like, I don't really care if, like, it's a kid's movie. If it looks like I'm going to enjoy it, I try to see it. I also am just a kid in a 26-year-old's body, so, take that for what it is.
That's fair.
The ultimate life form of chaos control. Supersonic. Untamed power of chaos.
Professor Gerald, the truth about 50 years ago.
Sonic Adventure 2. Last episode. Wishes are eternal.
Number 9, speaking of kids movies and everything, everyone of my friends was shocked that this isn't number 1 in the year, or I didn't do anything else with the rating and ranking and stuff. But Sonic 3, my god, this movie, I've seen it, like I said, saw it 5 times, every time in the Dolby. Took my mom to see it, went to see it with my best friend that I grew up with. I think it's so amazing. I know you mentioned like the whole point is Sonic and Shadow fighting. That's not actually the whole point. It is an adaptation of the video game Sonic Adventure 2, and there's so much more to that game than just Shadow and Sonic fight. It really is about that story of Shadow kind of like dealing with the loss of a best friend and like kind of dealing with everything, which I thought it just did really, really well. All the emotions hit me. But it's one of those movies where unless you're a fan, unless you've been in the Sonic space since you were a kid and know everything and played these Sonic Adventure 2 a ton of times and loved the story, you're just not gonna get it. The scene where Shadow and Maria are just playing and everything, and it's like a montage, that's not gonna hit you if you haven't played these games. If you're not a fan of Shadow the Hedgehog, it's just not gonna make sense to you.
You are absolutely right.
The meaning behind that scene, Jake, you gotta understand. Sonic fans have never gotten to like fully see Shadow and Maria hang out. It's always been flashbacks, and it's always been about her death, which in the game she gets capped by a soldier, so they had to downplay it for the movie. But yeah, I knew this movie was like genuinely for the fans and genuinely not just trying to be a kids movie, where when it opens with Shadow in the capsule and he has a memory and it's Maria playing Live and Learn acoustically on the guitar, and it's just, as a filmmaker, as an editor, that would be what I would do if I was making this movie. It would be an editing choice, a directing choice that I would choose, and that little bit told me, okay, the people making this know the story that they're doing, know the gravity of what it means to Sonic fans. And nearly everything about it I liked.
Yeah, wow. Honestly, fuck Wolfman. I want to have the Sonic 3 debate with you now. That I thought that was handled terribly.
Really?
They barely spent any time on that. I think if you add up the runtime of all the flashbacks, it's like less than 2 minutes. So I got no time to invest myself. I don't even know who the fuck that girl is. I don't give a shit. But all right, that's a different topic. It's a top 10 list. We're not throwing hands.
We're not throwing hands.
We're good.
We'll have another
so
one.
Good. We're so good.
We'll throw that in the later ideas for
Yep.
podcast for talk show discussions.
Sure.
But
absolutely.
yeah. Do you have any? Well, I guess you gave all your comments in Sonic 3. So I won't make you put any more comments. So.
Yep.
Yeah. What's your?
Look, to be fair, I still stand by it's the best one of the three. I think you might agree, actually.
It is. It's the best one of the three. I already pre-ordered the Steelbook, and I'm already sad that the Steelbook is like the lamest cover art ever. So hoping they change it. Anyways, what's your number 9, Jake?
My number 9 is a movie called A Different Man. This is a movie where, and they did star a real life person with a disfigurement in it. Like, he has like this disease where his face is like horribly misfigured and stuff like that. And it's a weird story, but it's so good, and it says so much about ego. And I'm not gonna spoil it too much. I'll give you the premise. Basically, there's this actor who has this facial disfigurement, who's like trying to get roles in plays and things like that, and this his neighbor is like this attractive woman or so, and like they hang out, they're friends and stuff. But one day he moves in for a kiss, and she kind of backs away, and then he like is just like super depressed. So he gets this surgery where he can his face is now Sebastian Stan's, so he's played by Sebastian Stan for the rest of the movie, and basically that woman, so he fakes his own death and he pretends he's a different person. That's why it's called A Different Man. And that woman who rejected him was so guilty that she started writing a play about his life. Sebastian Stan now nominates himself for the lead role wearing a mask and was like, hey, I think I can play this role pretty well. And they start a relationship. It's a whole, there's so many layers to it. But it's a comedy for a lot of it. It's a tragedy for a lot of it. It's just a great drama. There's so much in here, and I love the messages. I love the themes and how it just spirals out of control after like the halfway point. It's particularly in the third act. It does some weird shit, and I love it. So it's really fun, and it's a great movie.
You know what? I remember I saw the poster and I did want to see it because I'm a Sebastian Stan fan. I think he's a good actor, so I'll have to check it out. I'm glad that it's a good film. I'm glad that it has a high recommendation because I was kind of worried that it was kind of going to be mid. Never got a chance to see it. But yeah.
Yep.
Moving on to number 8. This was a surprise pick for me because I wasn't really sure if I'd even like it. Had never heard about it until Michael and Garrett had seen it and like put it on their letterbox. Saturday Night.
I love that movie.
I only watched Saturday Night Live once, but Saturday Night Live was on its way out. I don't know why I'm calling it SNL. For context, if you make movies, if you're a short filmmaker, any kind of filmmaker, and you love the production part, where if you've ever been in production for anything, you'll know how insanely quick things will go by. And if you love that part, like if you live for that energy, especially live production, because we did do a few when I was in film class, we did TV studio, and I got to you'll see it on my YouTube channel. It's I'm Fine Okay. That was completely shot live, and I got to do that, and so I know exactly the process and like how it feels to like shoot things live and the craziness. I live for that stuff. I live for the production side. It's so good. I love editing and everything. I love every aspect of filmmaking, but the production side is so lively. This movie, watching it, that's how it feels to be on set and like do things, and it is so accurately done. The editing is so good. The pacing is so good. Oh my god, it's so good. I've never really watched Saturday Night Live, but I didn't need to. It just, oh my god, it was insane. It was relatable. Just so well done. Loved this film. Any thoughts you want to say on it, Jake?
Yeah, I I absolutely do have thoughts on it. I thought it was an excellent movie. You make an excellent point about how like accurately it portrays the rush and chaos of organizing just dozens of people all at the same time, all trying to play their part, whether it's on camera or behind it. It's just, dude, it's a crazy, crazy time, and I love how it's like real time, like it's actually leading up to those last like half hour, then 15 minutes and 10 minutes, like that adrenaline surge. But I also, you said you didn't watch SNL much. I love SNL. I love it so much. I've watched a lot of episodes of it, and I knew who all of those comedians were that they were playing. So when like I think his name's Corey Smith, something Corey Michael Smith, whatever. He plays Chevy Chase, young Chevy Chase. He is dead on. He is like scary
Dude,
accurate.
I know, right?
And George Carlin gets like one scene, but that scene is so funny. It's such a good interpretation. Everybody just sung in that whole fucking movie. And Saturday Night is absolutely, whether you're a fan of SNL or not, as portrayed by both of us being a fan and not, you're gonna enjoy this movie. It's so good.
No, amazing time. And actually, I know Chevy Chase from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, so I was like, wait, is that Chevy Chase? Like, yeah, it was spot on, man. It was crazy. Fucking amazing film. Go see it.
We on number
number
8
8
now?
What's your number 8, one guy?
Yeah. All right. Well, my number 8 is a movie that I did not know existed until it popped up, and then I watched it on a whim, ended up loving it. It's What's Inside.
Okay.
It is about a group of like 7 or 8 like teenagers or like 20 somethings, and they're all going through like, their teenage awkward toxic phase with each other, and they're like friends but not really friends. They're all kind of they're just shitty people. And one of them smuggles a device out of his job, and his job is like ultra like military top secret, but he's an intern, but he smuggles it away. And what it does is it swaps the brain or the consciousnesses of 2 people just randomly throughout all of them, so nobody is who they are, and they all have to guess who they are. And there's just so much drama mined from that. And they play this game a few times throughout the movie where they swap each other's things and stuff like that. And there's like people pretend to be other people so they can get in other people's pants. There's people who watch that but know the truth. And there's people who, and eventually, what happens if one of them dies? You can't go back to your body. What the fuck's going on? Like, there's so much. So and there's like characters scheming to run away together because they're in bodies that aren't their own, and they have better lives, worse lives. There's so much like backhanded stabbing in the back, fucking toxic relationships here, where everyone's just pretending to be super cool friends, and everyone just I love it as like a deconstruction of like fucking 2020s culture. I love it. It's beautiful. Number 8 on the list. I wish it was even higher. The fact that it's over Wild Robot and Different Man means a lot. Like, that's a big deal. So
Never even heard about this movie. I want to see it though. This sounds really good. Insane, crazy.
It's a good one.
Yeah,
it's really good.
I'll definitely try to catch it somewhere. I need to add these to the watch list. Both of these. So, all right, moving on. Number 7, probably my favorite romance of all time. I'm a huge romantic guy. I'm one of those hopeless romantic types. Love romance stories. We Live in Time. First off, this one on your list at all? Have you seen it?
Have not seen it. It's Andrew Garfield, Florence Pugh.
Yes. Oh my God, We Live in Time. So beautiful. So it's romantic and like dramatic, but it's not in like one of those like. It's like it has some tragic parts to it, but like the relationship between those two is very realistic, very much like it's a realistic romance. It's a realistic kind of thing, and in like an adult way and stuff like that, and a marriage. And I just, oh my God, I loved every second about it. For extra context, only seen this once. Usually when I buy movies, I wait until they go on sale. Now that Best Buy doesn't sell movies anymore, I have to figure out how to do that now. But I just, a couple days ago, I saw We Live in Time, the A24 like special box thing of it at Walmart, and it was like $30, and I said fuck it, and I bought it because it just, oh my God, it beautifully shot, beautifully acted. It's just a great romance movie. I don't know, not really much else to say. It'll make you really feel things.
Well, that's good. I'll probably put it on my list then while while I'm going through my 2024 crunch. I'll probably throw it on there.
Yeah, no. Are you much of a romance fan?
Not really. I like romance when it's like a part of a movie that's not about romance, like an aspect of the movie.
Okay.
But I usually don't watch just a straight romance. You know, I don't know. I'm happy in life. I'm good. I don't need to see other people to like live vicariously. I don't know if that's what's at play with romance movies. If they're going after like the target demo of like, oh, I want to find love. I'll watch these people to make it feel. I don't know. That's not me. That's not me. I watch superhero movies because I don't have superpowers. I want to live vicariously and fly through the air is what I want to do.
I think for me, it's just like that kind of idea of like those like feelings and everything. You kind of get to feel them again and stuff through like a different way and like a different light. I don't know. It's stuff like that.
My favorite movies that implement romance are ones that aren't like primarily a romance. Like Groundhog Day, I think is an excellent romance. Another Andrew Garfield film, a film I do not like, Amazing Spider-Man 2, bad movie, excellent romance. I thought them two on screen together was just beautiful, and the ending was more impactful for it. So the movies always get enhanced if the romance is really good. So
no, I agree. I think Amazing Spider-Man 1 had a better romance between Gwen and Peter, in my opinion.
I like them both.
Hate Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I do hate Amazing 2. It's a terrible movie.
It's horrible. Last thing I'll say about We Live in Time, I just feel we haven't gotten a lot of good like pure romance films in a long time, and that finally gave me what I wanted to see.
Sure.
Which is ironic because there's another movie on here that's a rom-com. So, anyways, what's your number 7, Jake?
My number 7 would be a film that was my number 1 for about a month or two, and it finally pegged down a few. But Dune Part 2.
Ooh, okay.
Oh my God, this movie is unbelievable. Like Dune 1 was already like borderline masterpiece, right? And if the studio didn't make the stupid ass decision to not shoot them back to back, this is old Warner Brothers before they got burned down and reconfigured into a different company that is way better than old Warner. Fuck old Warner. Dude, why would you not shoot them back to back? Are you dumb? Why would you make us wait 3 years for the other half of one story? Like, Dune 1 was amazing. Dune 2 delivers on every aspect. And, it's not even just that it delivers on every aspect of Part 1. It delivers on aspects of Part 2. Fade Rayutha is such an amazing fucking character. I could watch his interpretation all day long. I watched this video recently of all 3 knife fights from Dune 1984, Dune 2000, and Dune Part 2 from this year. And by a country fucking mile, the most interesting one was Denis Villeneuve's interpretation. I mean, the first one, like the Kyle MacLachlan one, was just, that whole movie was just out of left field. David Lynch doesn't even consider it a movie that he made. Like, it's just a terrible movie. Dune 2000 I haven't seen. This one, oh my God, it is everything Dune could be. This movie lived up to it. Like, this is like gold standard how to adapt fucking Dune, how to adapt science fiction media like this. This is what you do, man. This is, oh man, there's influences from all over the directing walk of fame here. There's like Ridley Scott influences. There's a Christopher Nolan influence to it. There's everything. It's all here. It just delivers, and it's so satisfying.
Did you ever read the books? Okay.
No. I actually, it's funny. I own them. And I own Witcher. And I was going to start reading Witcher first. Then Ian borrowed my copy of the first Witcher book. And that was like a year and a half ago. So I haven't got that back.
That's funny. Dune Part 2 is actually on my list. It's going to be a little bit later. So I'll save my thoughts for then.
Okay.
I figure if there's any movies that are on the same list, we'll wait to say our thoughts for when it comes to that. If there are different points of the list. So
sure.
Moving on to number 6. Alien Romulus. Oh my God. Context. I saw this movie 4 times. Twice in Dolby, I believe.
Woo!
Once in IMAX and then once in the 4DX because I'd never experienced 4DX and I thought that'd be a cool one to see in 4DX. It was. Holy fuck, this movie was amazing. I know you mentioned you wanna rewatch all the Alien films first. Literally, just before you see Romulus, just watch Alien 1 and then watch Alien Romulus, then keep going. I think it'll work perfectly fine as a rewatch thing. I just, again, this would be another number 1 in another timeline. All of these would be number 1s in another timeline, but this one, yeah, it's just, I was watching in just complete horrific awe at what was going on in screen. I won't spoil anything because I know you haven't seen it. But to me, this was finally the true third Alien film that just deserves its place next to Alien and Aliens, and it deserves that. It deserves it. It deserves its Aliens, Alien Romulus. And the only reason why Alien Romulus isn't before Alien is simply because I don't like the deep fake they did for one of the characters.
I heard about that, yeah.
It's a deep fake. Not happy with it. Yeah, I think it's disrespectful, and I think they didn't have to do that. They could just use a different actor. You don't have to deep fake. If they're if someone's deceased, don't deep fake. It's just just have an actor look alike. It's fine. I was really happy with Romulus. I'm really happy with everything. They only use CGI when it is literally physically impossible to do it any other way. Besides that, it's practical, and the practical puppetry, so good, Jake. You are not going to be disappointed with this movie. Yeah, it's just really amazing. The ending, I'm still a little mixed on. I used to, when I first saw it, I was like completely not, and then I've kind of just grown more warmer to it. I'm like, it's all right, not that bad. But yeah, loved Romulus. I think I would put it in number 1 for a different time. And it did scare me at some points, which was really good. It's really good. I literally, the poster struck me so hard, where it's of one of the characters holding the face hugger. Struck me so hard, I literally told my friend, if you can get me the Romulus poster, it would mean the world to me. It's the IMAX Romulus poster. I have it hanging in the walkway. So you walk down the stairs and it's staring you right in the face.
Oh, you ended up getting the Romulus poster.
Yeah, I do. I have the Romulus IMAX poster. A fresh one. They got, he said, Garrett, he works at a theater. He said he got a second one. It was a fresh, brand new, never touched.
Whoa.
So it's probably one of my favorite posters I own.
Yo, that is a crazy pull. That is really fucking good. If Sigourney Weaver ever goes to anything, well, she's not in the movie, so I guess it doesn't matter. If James Camp, well, I guess he didn't do it. If somebody in that movie goes to any convention, we'll get that signed.
You're looking for Kaylee Spaney or David Johnson?
Ah, yes, hip relevant names that everyone's heard of.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Oh yeah, that's the other thing I want to say. David Johnson, holy fuck, this actor is amazing. Again, I won't speak too much, but he plays an android, and oh my god, the range on this guy is insane. David Johnson, if I ever get that far in my film career, I want to cast him in something, because this man is amazing. He's one of the best upcoming actors. Really good.
You think he'll work for no pay on every other Tuesday?
I said if I get to the level of there. All right, I don't mean right now. Obviously, I don't even have the experience right now to direct someone like that.
Yeah, fair enough.
But anyways, moving on. What's your number 6, Jake?
My number 6 is a movie that I, once again, like a lot of those on this list, just came out of nowhere. Didn't expect anything of it. Blew me away.
Okay.
Rebel Ridge. It's on Netflix now. This movie, I went in completely blind. No trailer, no synopsis. I didn't even know the genre. So I'm watching it, and for like the first like 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so, I'm like, oh, this is like a drama about how corrupt the police system is, and you know how certain people's experiences are worse if you're a different race or you act a certain way and things like that. And oh, okay, you know, it's gonna be like a deeper story with like political intrigue. And then he goes to the police station. And he explains what the PACE word stands for, PACE. Again, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but like, dude, then the movie like shifts into the gear that it's meant to be in, and it's like, whoa, that punched me in the face, that fucking gear switch. So everything from there was just like the best thing ever. I loved the plot. There were no plot holes. It was just awesome to me, and I loved how comfortably absurd it got to the point where it like that third act being the most escalated thing of all time. Love it. Love this movie. Thought it was excellent. Really blew me away.
All right, I'll have to check it out. I don't really look at Netflix that often, even though I have access to it. But you know, it's so funny. I was worried that we'd have a lot of the same films or anything. I wasn't really sure, but I'm kind of glad that we have a bunch of different ones. I wish I had anything to say on this, but it sounds a good time. I'll definitely go check it out.
Well, you know what's funny is, and I don't know if this is the same for you, but like when I go to the theaters, it'll usually be for like a big hype franchise movie. And then after the fact on digital, I'll find like these smaller independent movies and they're like awesome. And then so my top 10 list will initially be like this part 2, this part 7, this part 4. And then I'll start watching like the Anoras or the Ghost Lights and they'll work their way in as we go up. And it's like, whoa, now I have like a healthy mix in there. Because you can't just watch one type.
Yeah,
I,
no.
I don't understand film people that call themselves big film fans and they only watch Marvel movies, or film fans and they only watch like Lars von Trier films.
Yeah.
It's like, watch a little bit of everything. That's what a film fan is. You like films, right? All types. That's how that works.
Yeah, when I started, when I decided I wanted to be a filmmaker as a career, I really just, I never used to see horror movies, and I jumped into horror movies, and I would just see everything. Like, I'd be like, I have no idea what the hell this is. Probably might not like it, but I have to see it, so I expose myself to cinema. So I can learn from it. So, yeah, no, I agree. For me, I'll see the big hitters, but, because it's so easy on the app, like you'll look through and it'll just have everything. So I'll see, oh, what the hell's Baby Girl or something like that. I'll just click it and I'll watch it, or Saturday night.
Yep.
It's like these smaller films and stuff, and I'll go see it. So yeah, no, it's pretty easy for me.
Hell yeah.
Going into a movie completely blind is the best way to experience a movie, in my opinion. That is 100% the best way.
Yes. 100%. It is so difficult to do in 2025. I'll tell you that.
I usually come to movies late. Like there's always the 20 minutes of trailers. Like you'll see the start time, but there's 20 minutes of trailers.
You're lucky if it's 20 minutes of trailers.
I know, right? I'll tend to come in right as the final trailers are playing. I'll always watch that's the other thing, because I'll go to the movie so often. You'll see the same trailers. You get bored. I get bored after a while.
I know.
But I always watch like the teasers. Teasers are the best ones to see, and then after that, avoid everything else. The last one that I was running the fuck out for was Nope. Didn't do it for Sonic 3, surprisingly, because I knew exactly what the story was going to be. So I was like, well, what am I really spoiling myself on? But Nope, I was gunning out the whole fucking time. And I'm so glad I did, because they spoiled the damn UFO in the final trailer. I fucking hate that.
I know.
Hate that.
I know. I did not get spoiled on that. But then, again, like you, after I watched Nope, I saw that ad on TV. I'm like, what are you doing? Are you kidding me?
Exactly. For extra context, Late Night with the Devil, Saturday Night, and We Live in Time, I went in blind. Late Night with the Devil, hadn't seen any trailers, only knew that it was like a, kind of like a 80s kind of show sort of thing. Saturday Night, well, I mean, obviously you call it Saturday Night. I knew it had something to do with SNL. Other than that, I just knew that Garrett was like, well, Mikey, you said it gave you a panic attack as a joke. And then We Live in Time, just saw the poster, nothing else. And I got to go into all those blinds. So, best way to watch a movie, honestly.
Absolutely, I agree.
Number 5. Now this is my turn. Dune Part 2 is my number 5.
Woo!
Extra context, I have seen this movie twice. Would have seen it 3, but the movie's 3 hours long. I'm a busy man. I got stuff to do.
That's fair. That's fair.
I saw this once at a regular IMAX, and then me and my friends were fortunate enough to go see Dune Part 2 on 70 millimeter at the Universal Studios IMAX, which is one of the biggest IMAX screens. So I got to see it in 70 millimeter.
Yo.
Wow, this film. Holy fuck, that was a
man.
treat. I'm so glad I got to see it that way. Legitimately,
I think I'd die if I watched it there.
it was awesome. It really was awesome. Legitimately, I'd seen Dune Part 1 in IMAX, thought amazing lore building. God, this movie is going really long. I had to run to the bathroom once, or no, I think I held it in. I was dying towards the end, but it was like, okay, this is all right. I don't really get the hype, whatever. The Jason Momoa, my guy just refuses to fucking die. Great, everything. I go into Dune Part 2 because everyone's like talking and big up. I go see it opening weekend. And I walked out of it like that Danny DeVito meme where it's just like, my God, I get it. I finally got it. I understood. I knew nothing about the Dune series, had no attachment.
Lisa, Gabe.
I just knew that it was based off a book, and I had rewatched Dune Part 1 the night before or something. I see Part 2. Holy fuck, this movie blew me away. Just stunning visuals, amazing action, awesome music. Just wow. It just that knife fight at the end is so good too, and just everyone's giving an amazing performance. It felt like when I was a kid, it felt like two things. One, it felt like Fire Emblem. I don't know if you ever played the Fire Emblem games, but they're very like war heavy politics kind of thing with their stories and everything. Politics is in like just like the concept of politics, not like actual political things. Very politics and kingdoms and stuff. And this felt like that. But the other thing that it felt like is just like when I watched Star Wars Revenge of the Sith for the first time, and like all this stuff, like where they're saying words, they're saying things, I don't know what it means, but I know it's so much bigger than what I can comprehend, and just so encapsulating. It's good. It's fucking amazing. I agree with everything you said, Jake. It's just, oh my God, fucking amazing film. Loved it. Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Yep.
Great movie. It
Gotta agree. It was
at number one for a while beforehand, but yeah, hats off to who's the director? Denis Villeneuve. He did the impossible. He made an adaptation of the book that could never be adapted, and Flying Colors succeeded. He should deserve all the praise in the world. I don't know if 2024's Oscar movie has been announced, but if that wins, totally deserves it. In another timeline, again, I would have given this movie the number one. It's just there's like so many fucking good movies in this place, and also just like as like an extra thing, you do have to just sit down and carve out 3 hours of your day to watch it, but it is a worthwhile 3 hours.
Absolutely. Well, let me tell you, because you were talking about how Dune Part 2 had stunning visuals, excellent sound design, excellent acting, and really blew you away in every level, and amazing in IMAX. All of those things can be applied to my number 5.
All right, let's hear it.
Which is, of course, none other than the hit instant classic Furiosa Mad Max Saga. Let me tell you how fucking good this movie is. Now, I struggled for a long time after it came out. I was like, is Fury Road better than this, or is this better than Fury Road? Here's how I think about it. They're two different types of movies. Mad Max Fury Road is more fun. It's got more energy. Furiosa is deeper and is a lot more dramatic. They both have drama and they both have action, but one is better at one and one is better at the other. So it depends what kind of movie you're looking for. Personally, I'm a Fury Road guy. I love Fury Road slightly. It's just slightly more than this, just like if I had hair. But Furiosa is no exception. It is an excellent film. It is a worthy successor to Fury Road. It sucks that it bombed, and it's probably the last one. That's super tragic because, like, I wanted 100 more of these types of movies. And something else, too, I'll just say real quick before we move on. Furiosa and Mad Max Saga. Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, is the single most influential title in all of Hollywood marketing. Every single movie is New Thing and Old Thing Story, or Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, or From the World of John Wick, Ballerina, or Glass Onion, A Knives Out Story. Like, there's so many of these fucking titles. They're so uncreative because the marketing department is so scared and paranoid that you're not going to know that it's a Mad Max film, even though fucking Furiosa is the star of the film. How do you not put that together? So, whatever. Point is, regardless of what you call it, still be a fucking brilliant movie. It'd still be the same amazing time. So, love this movie. Deserves to be number 5.
No, it's not in my top 10, but I did watch it, enjoyed it. I had never seen Mad Max before. My friends, Mikey and Garrett, they had me watch it a couple of years ago. So I finally got to watch it for the first time. I don't really get it. Like, it's a good movie. Dude, that guy on a guitar was shredding his heart out. I'm not like jiving with like the style and everything. I guess it's just like not my kind of thing with like how like the art direction and stuff is. But it's still a good movie. I respect it. I did see Furiosa in Dolby. Um, as an editor and as someone who like critiques trailers and like how they're edited and stuff, as from an editor's perspective, really loved that trailer with the it got me to want to see the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It did its job, and it was a great trailer. Saw the movie, really enjoyed it. I think I liked it better than Mad Max. Really insane. Like there's a lot of stuff that I was just like, holy fuck, like just it was going for it. My friend Michael, he's a huge Anya Taylor-Joy fan, and he said that like recently in a lot of things she's just kind of like not like really going for it as much as he knows she can. And I asked him like, did she finally give you what you wanted? And he was like, yes, she finally did. I think personally, it just, again, art style, art direction, not really my type of thing, but I liked for the most part what it gave. Can't remember his name, guy who plays Thor. He did a really good job. Liked a lot of it. Wished the song wasn't it, but oh well. A lot of trailers use like a music or a song that isn't actually in the movie, and I always hate that. But oh well. Great film.
Yep.
Great film. Definitely, again, another one where it's like, if that one movie of the year, definitely got it. George Miller, I just applaud that man for continuing to just make all these movies for Mad Max. I feel like I'm shocked it bombed because I thought it got pretty good ratings and everything, but I feel like, you're saying this is the last one, but I feel like if Miller has another thing, he'll find a way to make another one. But
he can find the way to make it. He just can't find the money for it.
That's what I mean. He'll find the money for it. He'll do it. He'll sell like his entire soul and kidneys and stuff just to make it, because it seems like he's just that much in love with his stories and stuff.
He'll sell half his vineyard like Francis Ford Coppola to make it.
There we go. Yeah. All right, number four, Inside Out 2. Inside Out 1, when I saw that, I was a teenager in high school. Really resonated with me. Rewatched it again as an adult. Some of the things just didn't resonate with me anymore because, like, at some point you kind of come to terms with things, put to rest like different things of your childhood and stuff. So I was already kind of like in there. I didn't really have much to like feel or anything. So Inside Out 2. Oh my god, I think I cried 3 times, shed a few tears 3 times, and I don't shed many tears when it comes to movies these days. I have too much of a cold black heart. But what have you seen Inside Out 2?
So I was going to, and then my wife said, "Oh no, don't see it without me. I want to watch 1 and 2 together with you." And I was like, "Great idea." And then that never got mentioned again.
Damn.
So I think we both just collectively forgot about it. But I've seen 1. 1 is amazing, and 2 lives up to 1 is what I hear.
It does. I think it's better than 1. I know that's kind of like a controversial opinion. I think it's better than 1. I can relate to it more. The themes of anxiety, if you struggle with it, you'll get it. If you struggle with depression and stuff, I feel like as an adult, it really resonates. It's an amazing film. I went and saw it. I think I saw it 3 times. So it hit my threshold mark. I went out of my way to see it 3 times because I needed to see this movie. All 3 times, the same 3 scenes really fucking hit me. There's like 3 moments in here that I just like, every part of it does just so good. There's a moment that anger, the emotion has, he like has this moment with Joy, and I thought it really hit because just the way Joy acts and stuff. She has like so many ranges in her character in this one that just really hit. So yeah, just wonderful film. Pixar's doing good still.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. What's your number 4, my guy?
My number 4 is a film that's probably a lot of people's number ones. Anora. This movie is
Ooh, okay.
excellent. It is so good. It is brilliant. I love the way the story is told. I love how you can't really predict where it's going to go until it actually goes there. And when it goes there, it's just so satisfying. Um, I love, Jesus, what don't I love about this movie? The performances, freaking, I hope the girl gets nominated for the Oscar. Mickey Madsen, something like that along those lines. She is super talented. The guy who looks like XQC, I hate that guy. He played that hateable character so well that I hope he gets recognition and praise as well. Everyone was great. All the writing was great. But man, was this movie so enjoyable when the Russian son fucks off from the house and those Russian like gangsters just have her kidnapped, and it's just the whole second act is just them looking for him. Like, dude, that is so enjoyable because it's drama, it's hard hitting, it's serious, it's dark, it's deep, and it's supremely funny while it does so. It really finds the line between dark and funny. It knows exactly where the line is, and it just dances there. And it knows exactly how to play out the narrative without being either insensitive or just unfunny. It's very sensitive. It's very funny. But it's also got an emotional punch. Like, damn, like these people are not good people. Even the protagonist isn't really a good person. But you could just say that this is the only way she knows how to express herself and communicate. Like, there's so many deep fucking character motivations. I'm in love with Honora. I think it's an excellent film. And I really hope it gets nominated for some serious Oscars because it is an awards contender. It is one of the best movies of the year.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. This one in Another Life would be in a top 10. Really did enjoy it. I wrote like a really quick. I try to always write one like a small review with every movie. If I have a lot to say, I'll say a lot. But sometimes a movie just speaks for itself. And I only said a very visceral, very real, very gritty slice of life film. It's a real life Cinderella story kind of thing. I agree with everything you said. Just wow, I loved how like it just kind of felt like I was watching a real life scenario. It didn't feel like I was watching a movie. It felt like I was watching like I was a fly on the wall watching everything that happened. And damn, that ending is probably one of the most.
Yes. Yeah.
It's such a simple ending, but like just the way it ends is wow. It just like it has so many layers to it that you're just like it's one of those like, oh wow, okay, kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, really enjoyed Nora. I don't know if I'd ever rewatch it. It was just kind of like one of those ones where really enjoyed it, but probably will just like it's kind of like a hard like to rewatch for me. But really good, very good.
Well, with all that down, what is your bronze medal here? Your number 3.
My number 3, that was my number 1 for a long time. This was a movie that I was so excited for as soon as I saw the poster, the trailer. Lisa Frankenstein.
Really?
Yep, really. That's why I said rom-com. There's another one. Oh my god. What first to start off of, I know this wasn't made by Universal Studios. This gets a honorable Universal Monster title. It's a great Universal Monster time. I'm a huge fan of Catherine Newton. I got a crush on her. She's I think she's an amazing actor. She does so good in this movie. I love the 80s style. When I saw this alone and I saw it with my mom, and there was so many points where she's like, oh my god, yep, we used to do that with the whiteout and stuff like that. I love the costumes. I thought Cole Sprouse did a great job. I think the romance is so cute and funny. The fucking comedy is just hilarious in this movie. Just like the lines and everything, the comedic timing, just everything. It's just a great fun monster movie, and I love the style and just everything it does. It's a great Frankenstein movie. Yeah.
Can I be transparent for a moment? I have not seen this film.
Okay.
I
alright.
thought that trailer looked like ass. I thought that looked like a big shit show of a fucking time. Like, who would ever waste their time watching this hunk of crap? I never saw it. Can't speak to the quality of the movie. Good to know that there is a super fan out there who has it as his number 3 of the year.
I saw it 3 times. I saw it 3 times in theaters.
I bet you did. It sounds like you really liked it.
Fucking 4 stars. Got it a like.
Yeah.
Zelda Williams really killed it. I think this was her debut.
It was her debut, yeah, because during our anticipated of 2024 list, the trailer had just dropped when we recorded that, and we all joked saying that it was our number 1 most anticipated, even though we all hated the trailer.
I like the trailer. I thought it was great. You need to see this. Watch it next month. Next month if you can, like on Valentine's Day or something. Go for it.
All right, you know what? I'll check it out.
You're gonna have a great time. I think it's really good. It's a great monster movie. Cute little rom-com. Really stylistic. There's a lot of fun stylistic parts that I really like about it. Lots of love for the old school monster stuff. You can tell that there's like all that. Like there's literally like posters and everything and the set design and just really good. I had a great time with it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. My number 3 of the year is a film that has the number 2 in it.
Ooh.
It is Gladiator 2, a film that I have all 3 separate popcorn buckets for. I have Regals, I have AMC, I have Cinemarks. Now, let me talk about the movie first before I get to the fun merchandise. The movie's amazing. All right, Gladiator is one of my favorite movies of all time. It is in my top 20 of all-time films, maybe top 10. I got to redo my top 10 soon because I've seen more Best Picture winners, of which Gladiator Part 1 is one, mind you. But I've grown up with Gladiator Part 1. I thought Gladiator is a brilliant film. Russell Crowe deserves the Oscar for that film. So glad he got it. Fucking Ridley Scott deserves the Oscar. Everything about that movie is just cinematic perfection to me. And damn. Okay, so I watched the first trailer for this movie. It's the one with No Church in the Wild by Kanye West blasting in the background, which is like the least fitting possible thing. But I watched one trailer. I was like, I'm already big hype for this movie. I don't need to see any more trailers. So I got no more marketing from that film. I went in pretty much as blind as you could. I just saw the first trailer and that's it. There is a line where she says, because they were just speculating about, oh, he could be the son of Joaquin Phoenix's Commodus from the first one. Oh, we don't know, whatever. And there is a line, the scene after that, where Lucia says to him that your father was Maximus Decimus Meridius, and you got to live up to his legacy. Dude, sitting in that theater, I waited 24 fucking years to hear that confirmed because they never addressed it. They had that as like a side of like, oh, it could have happened because she was unfaithful to her husband. There's some drama in that first movie. He could have been the son of Maximus, but it wasn't relevant to that first movie's story. Well, guess what? It's the most relevant. It's like the most quintessential part of this story, how fucking important that is. And, oh, man, the direction it took was brilliant. Paul Mescal acting his ass off. Pedro Pascal giving it his all. Joseph Quinn, who I'm going to meet at MegaCon Orlando in a few weeks. This guy, the whole cast is just giving it their all. I'm not going to mention Denzel, the fucking god amongst men in terms of fucking acting masterclass. But the writing... Thematically, it was a brilliant sequel to the first Gladiator. Gladiator mentions a lot about the people of Rome and how important they are. And in a way, Maximus is fighting on behalf of them. He's fighting for his own personal freedom, but by the end of the movie, he's fighting to make a better Rome because the Roman system is corrupt. Well, 24 years later, his dream has faded from existence and Rome has gone back to that same stage of corruptness. Well, this is what happens after the fucking Maximus lays down the line and says, this is how things have got to be. This is the natural extension of the end of Gladiator 1. You see that manifest. You see his dream take place, take hold, fucking Roman people rising up. Everything about it was just so brilliant. It was just, the action was great. The writing was great. I love Gladiator 2. It was my number 1 for a long time until recently. But I've since cooled down on it. I've since taken recency bias into effect. And, of course, I saw another great movie, too. So we'll get there when we get there. But, yeah, no, Gladiator 2 is almost a 10. It's so close to being as good as that first one. I hold the first one near and dear to my heart. But it's brilliant. It's a worthy follow-up.
Yeah, we talked about the movie last time. So I pretty much have said everything I wanted to say. And, honestly, it's not in my top 10. But you said all the things that I agree with. I mean, I agree with everything you said. I'd only seen it once, or I'd only seen Gladiator once the day before I went to see it. Loved Gladiator 2, loved everything. It's so good. I love that one scene where Denzel is just like he wins the tournament winnings. He's like, no, this is my house now, my house. And I was like, damn, okay.
Man, it's so funny.
I said this before, but it really does. It feels like a Fire Emblem plot, and it's so good in every fight, even that end fight between Denzel and the main guy. I forget his name. Is it Aaron Taylor Johnson?
Paul Mescal.
Paul Mescal. Okay, the end fight between Denzel and Paul Mescal. Holy fuck, that's so good. And he freaking I think he decapitates him. I know he takes off his arm. Great time, amazing time. So we go on to the number 2 of the year for me. It was so hard. I had to stop myself from getting number 1 because I had to remember what I saw before. We talked about it earlier. Number 2, the silver medal, Nosferatu. Oh my god, saw this 3 times, wanting to go see it again. Dolby, the Dolby experience, holy fuck, the sound design. I tell you, I know you saw it in IMAX, you probably got the same experience because IMAX stereos were so good, but hearing it with the Dolby speakers, hearing Bill Skarsgård's voice and the way he did that, oh my gosh, so cool, so scary, so everything. Getting to see it, the new Beverly on 35 felt even more real. Seeing it the next day just in a regular theater, everything about this movie is just from beginning to end perfect. Nicholas Hoult got to have a second chance at the Dracula story with his characterization, which, by the way, in defense of my man Thomas, everyone calling this guy a loser and everything, my man jumps out of a window, falls off a cliff into ice cold water, survives the river, gets revived. Everyone's saying, no, stay here, stay safe. He treks nonstop to get back to his wife, nearly dying, and then continue with a broken limp leg, goes out of his way to try to kill the guy. And even though he knows that it's way too late, still tries to run back to his wife to save her. And before that, because in the original Nosferatu movie, when he takes off the casket and stuff and he sees him, he gets all scared and runs away. No, in this one, he is about to pickaxe kill Count Orlok. He was gonna do it. He waited just a little bit too long. The sun went down just a little too early. My man did everything. Justice for Thomas, man. He was a good husband. He was a good fucking husband. He just made a mistake. He owned up to his mistake. Even though fucking Ellen was the one who brought this evil, who invited it and everything, even though it's both their faults, Thomas still took responsibility and was a good husband throughout. So I don't want to hear anyone calling this man a cuck. He's not a fucking loser. He did the right way. But beyond that, oh my god, this is Bill Skarsgård's best performance ever to date. Better than Pennywise, better than everything. And watching this, Robert Edgers reminded me 2 things. One, dive into the absurdity of stuff. Scenes might be ridiculous, but go for it with everything and just go for it, because it's going to work at the end of the day. There are scenes in here where it's like out of context, it looks a little ridiculous, like when she's like kind of going into it and like tearing her shirt and stuff. Like, it's a little ridiculous, but it fucking works because everyone's just going for it as much as I can.
Well, that's a very stylistic movie, so.
Yeah, it's an extremely stylistic movie. And again, like, it's absurd, but it delves into that and it works. And he reminded me to embrace the melodrama. This movie is melodramatic as fuck, and it's so good at that, and I love it, and it works. I love melodrama. If you've watched Anxiety's Moon and Unseen Obsession, they're all melodramatic and ridiculous and stuff. And like, he reminded me, like, yeah, embrace that, because when it's the type of movie that needs that melodrama, it's gonna work and it's gonna go great. And then finally, any look is going to look good and scary if you do the right lighting and the right shadows. Because I tell ya, handlebar mustache, side part hair, it works because of how Bill Skarsgård acts, how they light him, the presence he gives himself. It all works into a design that worked for me. Maybe it doesn't work for everyone, but it was scary. It was intimidating. It was cool, and it reminded me. It made me feel more confident in my own story and how I'm doing it. I know you've read the script and everything. There's stuff that I was a little confident, but just beyond that, it's just amazingly lit film, amazingly shot film, acting. Willem Dafoe is killing it. Knock is a great Renfield archetype. When he's screaming, "The blood is the life," and like him just going into it, all the practical effects. It was hard not to give this movie number one. And I guess this is one of those movies that gives the example of what you were saying. This is a dark romance. It really is. It's a horror romance, and it just amazing film. Again, it gets one of those honorable Universal monster tags. This is a amazing monster movie and everything. So,
Absolutely. The number 2 is a film that came out of nowhere. I saw it like a couple weeks ago. Did not know existed, and it's my number 2 of the year now. That's how good it is. Ghostlight.
ooh,
It is a movie that is just a quiet drama that's a little comedically absurd, but it's just a quiet drama, and it's just about how a family deals with grief. It's very in the bedroom in that sense, which is another film I love. This movie, it's a situation where there's a father and a mother and a daughter, and the son has recently committed suicide. And all three of the other ones are trying to deal with that and live their lives like trying to cope with that. And they're all doing it different ways. They're all acting differently. They're all doing different things that like manifest how they feel, whether they feel guilty or not because of it. But the whole family is trying to sue the girlfriend for wrongful death of that the son, and it's just them dealing with the case, them trying to go through it. Like, is this the right thing to do? Is this going to bring any kind of closure or whatever? Are we after closure? Are we after money? What do we want? And there's so many layers at it. But the main character, who's the father, is also doing a play in the background, and it's just. He keeps it a secret from his family. His wife thinks he's cheating on her, but he's really just playing Romeo, even though he's like 65. And so they make Juliet also like 65 so that the ages line up, even though they're supposed to be teenagers. They address it all the time. It's an excellent, excellent, excellent study on grief and what it does to people and what people do like to move past it and move along and accept things or not. And I love it. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. It really just blows you away. You get pretty emotional when you watch this movie. It's a really impactful movie, very character driven, and yeah, there's just this one scene that features the son's girlfriend where she comes up to them at the carnival, and they're like, "Oh, we're not supposed to talk before the trial or anything like that," but she's like, "Can you tell the daughter, the obviously the son's sister, like." I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, I don't think I can do that. And she's like, can you give her this? And it was like the prize animal. And it's like, oh my God. In context of the movie, that's like it's such a gut punch. And it's like halfway through. It's not even like the crux of the movie, but like it's so emotionally impactful. So Ghostlight, easily number 2 of the year. Very close to number 1, but we'll get there when we get there.
It's okay, Ryan. You're safe here. Everything is confidential between us.
I know. One night we met at a bar, or a castle, or maybe it was an alley. I can't remember. I only remember that he talked to me.
That's okay. What was he like?
Mysterious. Charming. He seemed alone like me. No one ever comes up to talk to me.
How did that make you feel?
Wanted.
number 1 of the year. I don't even know if this will be in your number 1. I'm not even sure. I only saw this once, but really it struck such a chord with me that was rereading my review of it, and like I remembered everything. I still remember all the feelings it gave me. Civil War. Oh my gosh, Kirsten Dunst's best performance to date. Another Kaylee Spaney film, and she really kills it. Everyone in this movie did a really good job, and it's so. Oh my god, there's just so many scenes that make you feel uncomfortable and just like kind of shock you, and it does such a good job at putting you in the let me see how I wrote it in my review, because I like how I wrote it. It doesn't give you any context to the whole war that's going on, and I think that's so brilliant because it puts you as a viewer in the shoes of a perfect journalist, one that has to can't take any side and can only document what's going on, completely neutral and everything, because that's what a journalist has to be, completely neutral, doesn't take a side, is just documenting what's happening. And by not knowing the context behind it, how this war started, what side means what, you are forced to be completely neutral of it. You're forced to just witness war and how it happens and how it affects things, and it's powerful. It's gripping. Did you watch Civil War, Jake?
No, so I really want to get you
Damn.
in a room with Mud to talk about it, because when we did our top 3 worst of the year, this was like number 2 for him. He hated this movie. He thought it was trash. So I haven't seen it. I watched the trailer and I heard mixed reviews, so I took a pass. But I would have liked to see it. I'll have to form my own opinion then. I'd have no idea that it would be this high for you and low for him.
No, it's like I said, every single movie on this list, and so many others this year, deserve to be in the top 10, and so many deserve to be number 1. And it was so hard not to put movies at number 1. It was hard to not put Sonic 3. I hesitated to put Sonic 3 because I knew that would just be a fanboy moment. So hard not to put Nosferatu and everything. But when I really think about it, and I was talking about this out. I was talking this out earlier today, that Nosferatu is a movie that I feel like will never hit the same unless you saw it in like IMAX or Dolby or on 35. Alien, Romulus, there's like, if you're not a fan of the Alien franchise, or like, there's those AI bits. Dune Part 2, another one where it's like, I don't know if it will have as much of an impact not seeing it on IMAX. Sonic 3, you have to be a Sonic fan, otherwise you're just not going to give a fuck. It's just not going to mean anything. Saturday Night Live, it's good, but like, again, I feel like what makes it amazing is that I am a filmmaker and like I get all that. Inside Out 2, maybe not everyone can relate to Anxiety. Lisa Frankenstein, again, I mean, if you're a big monster movie fan, if you like rom-coms, they're that. Same with We Live in Time. But Civil War, I genuinely feel you could watch this on your phone, on the big screen, on your regular TV, on a 50-inch TV, and it doesn't matter how you watch it. It doesn't matter. The scenes and everything will just kind of it's just going to hit you. It's just going to leave you stunned and shocked. The ending, it ended, and I looked at my mom, and like we didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to say. I had to sit with it for like all the way to the car ride home, and it just gets you. It was just like, holy fuck. And I feel like it's also just so relevant to today's climate. Not going to talk into that. I don't like to get into that. I like to stay in the realm of fun. I like to be an escapist. But too. I do feel like it's a very relevant film, and just today's, like, what's going on in the world, just overall with war and things, and a lot of fucked up stuff happens these days and everything. I feel like Civil War is a good response to that and everything, and that's why it's number 1. Truthfully, all those things. That's what I have to give it.
That's fair. I mean, that sounds like I gotta check out this film that everyone either loves or hates.
Yeah, I'd love to get in a room with Mud and talk with it after I rewatch it, so I have a good, good standing and stuff.
Good. You guys can go at it. All right. Well, my number 1 of the year is a film that I got a popcorn bucket for, and I didn't pay $1 million on eBay. I actually got it at the theater, and I'm very happy I did because this movie ended up being absolutely tremendous. This film is the 4th in the series, but it's really overall like the 10th or 11th. It is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. It is a brilliant film. I loved the Caesar trilogy. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is like one of my all-time favorite movies. Like that is like the true, as good as it gets. And one of my all-time favorite movies as well is Planet of the Apes, the Charlton Heston one. So that and then Dawn. Kingdom is coming out of nowhere and just does not let up the steam with how, like, it just takes the philosophy of those previous ape movies and just ramps it up. Like, what is this world with apes in the context of all the human guns being in that vault? Like, do they deserve to advance on their own? Do they deserve to jump up to our level and get all of our military equipment? Like, what does deserve even mean in the context of a Planet of the Apes that have taken over the world? Like, there are no right or wrong answers. There's just like philosophy. There's just excellent questions. The villain is so well thought out because he's so far into his convictions and beliefs, like a religious zealot about who Caesar was, who he thought Caesar was, that he's just radicalized all of these other apes into like his own empire. That's why it's called Kingdom. It's his kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And oh man, you can just break it down character by character, like everything they mean, what they do for the story. And not just that, but Noah's an interesting character. He's a great follow-up protagonist to Caesar. He's got a lot of way to go because, you know, Caesar really hit his stride in parts 2 and 3. You know, this is part 1 for Noah. But I love the setup. I love his clan. I love the integration with how they're the Eagle tribe. That's like their thing. And he finally got his calling. He's matured. So this is like his, you know, coming of age story. And I'd love to see parts 2 and 3 of his trilogy, which they've already said they'd love to make, and just what kind of ape that he grows into. I can't say what kind of person he grows into, but and then the ending, of course, without being sequel bait, it's just a good ending to a good story. But she finds the human clan. Like there's more humans out there that can speak and that are trying to contact the rest of the world. That's like why they wanted that beta drive, and just the possibilities that opens up with like. What is the future of this civilization? Like, where is it going to go? That's such an interesting world that opens up a lot of questions. And just at the end of the day, it's all this philosophy and theming and writing is all wrapped up in a really fun, satisfying blockbuster. And yeah, there are callbacks, but it paves new original ground with what it does. And I'm blown away. I love that Caesar is now a legacy with like the symbol of the window. Oh man, if I could ever meet Owen Teague and have him sign my bucket, I think I'd be ecstatic. But yeah, no, Kingdom is number 1 right now. Again, Gladiator 2, Ghostlight, and Kingdom can all kind of swap numbers 1, 2, and 3. That's how I feel about them right now. It shuffles out that Kingdom's number 1.
Yeah, I think I'd say the same with Civil War, Nosferatu, and Lisa Frankenstein. Like that, they'd all swap for me. Honestly, it's really hard not to get. It was really tough not to get Nosferatu number 1. But yeah, I know I mentioned Kingdom as my honorable mention. Yeah, Kingdom was great. I have the popcorn bucket too, and you know, funny enough, you were like talking about how like if you don't get that like on that opening weekend, you're pretty much screwed. Or the Thursday of. That one was still in stock, and it was like weeks later, and I literally like I kind of looked at it. I was like, you know what, fuck it, I think I want to get it. Because I ended up seeing. How many times did I see Kingdom, actually? I'll put the stats up for Kingdom as well. Twice. I think I saw it twice. It was so funny. The second time I saw it, there was a student film festival that I was invited to go to. And it would be like a 40-minute drive. And I was like, do I want to do it? And my mom was literally about to see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes in Dolby. And I was like, do I want to see Kingdom? Do I want to like do a 40-minute drive to see a bunch of student films? Or do I want to see apes again? And I was like, apes. So
Absolutely fucking apes, bro.
Absolutely. But yeah, it was like that month. It was late in the month, and I'm like looking at the popcorn. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Do you guys still have it? And like, yeah, sure. I bought it. This was probably one of the best bang for your bucks because like you get a really nice popcorn bucket, really well designed, nice tin, nice roundness of like. Okay, this is a good popcorn bucket just to use. The lid's really cool. And then you also get just a really sick keychain that's like, it looks great. And yeah, no, probably one of the best popcorn buckets ever. Biggest, like, this is worth $25. But enough about popcorn buckets. Yeah, I got very lucky. That one did not sell out for me. But yeah, no, I agree with everything you said. I was never like a huge Planet of the Apes guy. Like I saw all the original films. Parts of them always struck with me where I enjoyed them. Dawn is definitely my favorite. 100% like the best one. And then Kingdom is probably like the second best for me. Didn't like the third one of the Caesar trilogy. Never really it didn't really stick with me, to be honest.
Are you talking about War?
Yeah, War. Didn't really like War.
War is definitely like slower and like more character driven. So it's a different style than the first two.
Yeah, I'm mixed on slow burns. You have to really hit me to work with a slow burn. But Kingdom, I don't know, my best friend was excited for it. Michael was excited for it. He got the Steelbook. I saw it, had a great time with it, honestly. And no, I agree with everything you said. But yeah, no, Proximus is probably like one of the best villains ever. I loved everything he did, like where it was like, do you believe in evolution?
It's so good.
And it really is, and just like everything with the humans and just all the characters, the Eagle Clan, and like again, yeah, that vault of guns, and like what does this mean? What do we do? And you know, the ending where, you know, she has a gun and she's holding it behind her back, and also Noah doesn't fully trust her either, and it just kind of like says like again where it's like we still haven't hit that part of cohabitating and stuff. So great movie. Funny enough, I had seen that, and then me and my best friend, we went to the zoo a couple weeks later, and we saw the gorillas, and all the monkeys, and I was just like, ooh, I don't feel comfortable being here. I was a little nervous. I got a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, all great picks. Number ones of the year. There you go. You have it. From two of the most. I mean, I don't know why you'd ever watch the Oscars. It doesn't matter at this point. If Kingdom doesn't at least get digital effects win for digital effects, I don't know why it wouldn't. But I swear, if it doesn't at least win that. But yeah, there's our picks. As a refresher from me, starting from the lowest: 10, Late Night with the Devil; 9, Sonic 3; 8, Saturday Night; 7, We Live in Time; 6, Alien Romulus; 5, Dune Part 2; 4, Inside Out 2; 3, Lisa Frankenstein; 2, Nosferatu; and number 1, Civil War. Jake, if you want to refresh the audience for your list.
Yeah. So my number 10 is The Wild Robot. 9 is A Different Man. 8 is It's What's Inside. 7 is Dune Part 2. 6 is Rebel Ridge. 5 is Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, in case you thought it was Furiosa, a Star Wars story. 4 is Anora. 3 is Gladiator 2. 2 is Ghostlight. And 1 is Kingdom of the Planet of the Motherfucking Apes, bro. Oh my god, these movies are so good.
So good. So really good. Nice. I'm glad we both had like a very, very good varied list of things that we'd seen and both hadn't seen. So I think that's good. I think this is a good time to wrap up the episode. Great time. If you all these movies are worthwhile seeing, please go see them if you haven't yet. Catch Nosferatu in theaters if you can while it's still there.
Absolutely.
And yeah, looking forward again to what 2025 has in stock. Honestly, there's not, at least from what I can remember, there isn't anything coming up in the works. So it's just I'm just kind of excited for the Robin Williams said in like Night at the Museum, where it's like I don't know what I'm gonna do after this, and he goes, it's exciting, isn't it? So I'm excited. Just that I'm going into 2025 with no idea what's coming out.
Oh, I got an idea. We got Captain America: Brave New World. James Gunn's Superman is about to kick off a whole universe. Oh my god, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. I was big hyped after Part 7. Freaking Karate Kid Legends. I gotta rewatch all of them again to get ready for that one. There's so many hypers. Big hyper movies out there.
Okay, yeah. No, I'm excited for all those too. I'm not even a big Superman guy, and I want to see Superman, so. All right.
That trailer hits.
Well, that's it for everyone. Hope you enjoyed listening, and yeah, bye everyone.
Bye.